So I am in the midst of an epic declutter. So I'm trying to clean my giant collection of 1,000 perfumes while also paring it down to something more manageable. I'm hoping to get to closer to 700, which is huge. Like, that's a big difference. But while I'm going through all my perfumes, and yes, it does tend to lean niche. I don't know if I could come up with that many designers that I like, but there is quite a big segment of designers, and by designer, I mean high street designer, not the Privé collection, which is a higher tier and tends to rub shoulders with the niche world a little bit more. I have for you the all-stars. Going through them, these are the ones I cherry-picked that are not going anywhere for sure. And they are what I call the all-star designer fragrances. I even popped a couple men's in there, either for you. I know I have some guys watching, or for your guy, if you want to have him smelling good. These are some timeless ones that are going to stick around. So let's get into it. Let me start with the one that I wore yesterday, and this is the Dior Poison Flanker. It is the Dior Poison Girl EDT, the Eau de Toilette. There's so many flankers in this series now, it's ridiculous. I did narrow it down to 2 that I kept. One of them I put in here. The other one I think a lot of people years ago associated with me. It was definitely my signature, which is the original Dior Poison, Hypnotic Poison. That was definitely my signature years ago, like maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago. I kept that one. I can't get rid of something that was once my signature. I just can't do that. This one I wore yesterday again, and at first I was like, ooh, you're not that powerful. And then it crept up and I was like, wow, there she is. There's my girl. I like this one. The original one is more of like a hazy, creamy, it's like a vanilla almond sandalwood musk with a little bit of plum in there. It's really, really good. This one is a little different. This one to me definitely has this orange in there. It opens with the orange and there's this orangey zest that just kind of stays throughout it. And then as it dries down, it gets this more caramel kind of feel to it. Now, a vanilla, caramel, tonka bean, heliotrope cashmere, giving it that like almondy, fuzzy thing I was talking about. But this one definitely has more of that orange caramel. Kind of like how you can have orange chocolate. It feels like it's an orange scented caramel, but there's orange blossom and neroli in here because I really get a lot of orange to it. I think I like it better just because I wore the Hypnotic Poison so much. I mean, a lot. Like I said, signature scent. So it was an everyday. People would smell it and say that smells like Greta. No kidding. That's what they would say. This one is definitely a keeper. There's the unexpected that I never bought that I would consider. I don't know. I have so many. I don't think I really need it. But that's one that I was always curious about too. But this one is a keeper. I think you need to find a Hypnotic Poison from Dior. Like, you need to have one of them. Find your favorite. You need to have one of these in your collection. They're all so different. Why not? Let's just do this one. I might be alone on this one, standing on the ledge. Nobody else probably is into it, but I do. I like this one. It's the only one I think I like from this house collection. And it's the Narciso Rodriguez Poudre. The Poudre is, yes, it smells a little like baby wipes. It has that clean, powdery, not quite talcum powder, but definitely a fresh, powdery, musky kind of scent, skin scent kind of like, definitely rides close to this one. But I very much like powdery, musky fragrances. It's just my thing. I like it from cosmetic-y powdery all the way to talcum powder, powdery. Powdery and musky is just a profile I tend to gravitate to and find a lot of comfort in. It's an easy reach to me. So this is the one I'm keeping from Narciso Rodriguez. I do have some others. I already listed the Rouge. I have 2 others I think I will probably list soon. I'm doing the whole declutter listed on my website. If you don't know, GretaBeth.com it's easier to remember. GretaBeth.com takes you to the Sillage by GB. All my listings are there. You can just hit the tab declutter and it's there. It's always in existence, but right now there's a lot going through, and it's definitely going in waves, so keep paying attention to it. I'm uploading more and then shipping a batch, uploading more, and it's gonna take me a while to pare things down to a more manageable size for me, where I can actually clean my collection. I just can't even clean it now, it's too big. As I pull them to feature them, I'm washing them off. It's too much. I need to pare it back a little bit. So this is the winner. This is the one that's sticking around. It's definitely iconic to me, for me. Not everyone, but for me, this is by far the best. It's actually the only one I really like in the collection. Another iconic, okay, Mon Guerlain. Now, we're gonna have to pick a Mon Guerlain because it's another iconic. And I haven't tried all of the flankers. There's quite a few flankers, but I have to say the Intense is my favorite of all the ones I've tried. I also like the original. I like the Intense better. Paltry here, not much left, but I do have a backup. I have another bottle already. And I do have on my very short list of my wish list, which is definitely on hold until I finish this declutter. We will not be purchasing while we're trying to downsize. The original Mon Guerlain is on my list to get. I heard a weird rumor that it's being discontinued. Have you heard that? Or am I just making stuff up? I don't know. Maybe I'm making stuff up. Did you hear that? Because I hope I don't need to panic, but why would they get rid of the original? That sounds silly to keep making flankers and get rid of the original. Would they do that? I don't know. I've seen crazy stuff. Like they got rid of the best Miss Dior. The best Miss Dior. Speaking of, I didn't put a Miss Dior on here. Holy cow. If I could, I would pick the 2017. No, it's 2014. 17 is when it disappeared. That one was so iconic. I do like the newest one that they released in 2024 a lot. It is definitely reminiscent of the Miss Shorty and then the 2000, I think it was 14 it came out. I know vanished in 2017 is when it was replaced. Speaking of ones that I wish they never discontinued, I did pull another one, Manifesto by YSL. This is one that, why did they get rid of? Like, I remember when this came out, my channel was brand new and I was afraid to talk about it. It was literally like the week it launched. I was like, this is an amazing fragrance. Why is no one talking about it? I don't understand. I thought it was fantastic and I was too shy. You know, didn't know what I was doing. Really didn't. And then it was disappeared. And then when I was in Italy last year, I saw it in a perfume shop discounted, like the end of inventory. And I was so tempted to pick it up, but I had so much to carry back. And like I said, I have so many perfumes. Do you see how full this is? It's because I'm afraid to wear it. It didn't make sense to get a backup. I have other backups of favorites. And the reality is I will never use all that juice. I just need a little bit to always remind me of it. This one is a little bit like Mon Guerlain. It's definitely this woody vanilla with a little bit of powderiness to it, but it has blackcurrant. Now, if you know me, you know I absolutely love blackcurrant in fragrances. I'm just a sucker for it. It's so funny how whenever I see a fragrance I love and I look at notes, I'm like, there's blackcurrant. Of course there is. And it's a jasmine fragrance, but it's really more about that vanilla, tonka, sandalwood in here, which that aspect of it kind of reminds me of Mon Guerlain, but if you took that lavender out, I get it, lavender is kind of a big note in Mon Guerlain. It's kind of like a major note, but that same kind of vanilla is in here. I don't know why they got rid of that. And Eclat like came and went. Like that fragrance was barely out 2014. That's why I didn't say anything. I didn't have a channel and I was wondering why no one was talking about it on their channels. There was a lot less channels. There really weren't very many women, like 2 women, I think, back then. So, but yeah, no one was mentioning it. Okay, one for men. I gotta do a Jean Paul Gaultier. I chose the Ultramale Intense EDT. I don't talk a lot about myself, but growing up, my stepmother actually worked in perfumery. She worked in the marketing. So I always was exposed to perfumes and was always given bottles, like all these tester bottles that they were giving out for promotion. And she worked on this. She worked on the launch of the Ultramale and the original from Jean Paul Gaultier. It was a big deal at that launch. I remember it fondly and it was a great fragrance. I was kind of tired of it too. I was like, enough of it. I get it. But she was in charge of all the marketing for it. It is a good one. It is addictive. The original is great. And so is the Intense ET. It's very sexy, provocative, kind of sultry and provocative. Aromatic vanilla with patchouli, like a sweet, addictive kind of patchouli in here, along with a little bit of sweet pear that makes it addictive and a little more delectable like, but the aromatics keep it really nice and masculine. I think this is so sexy. The Ultramel EDT. I have a few of these, but I picked this one. And for the women, I did pick La Belle, but Les Parfums, I'm really bummed they got rid of this because I found it to be way better than the original La Belle. But since this is gone and I only have this little guy here, I would say the original La Belle. It's definitely a juicy, booming. I love pear. Like blackcurrant and pear are the two fruits I really like. So this is like a booming, sweet, syrupy pear fragrance with this vanilla amber base. It's kind of easy to like. It's definitely powerful. They're both powerful. I feel like the Les Parfums feels a little more sophisticated than the original, but the original is really good also. It's easy to like La Vie est Belle is also really easy to like. Speaking of, I picked a La Vie est Belle flanker because La Vie est Belle, I think behind Chanel No. 5, which is the #1 sold fragrance, La Vie est Belle is a top seller for fragrances for women. It is a hit for a reason. But I didn't want to pick the original because it's a little tiresome now. So I picked the Absolute. The Absolute is my favorite version. I do have a few. I will be keeping the flankers. I just feel like this is an iconic kind of flanker series. I don't know, maybe I'll declutter. I'm not ready to. I just picked up a bunch of them like this year. I'm not ready to declutter them. But Absolute is definitely my favorite. It has the added iris in here, which gives it a more powderiness instead of that loud syrupiness. It kind of purrs a little bit more while also keeping that juicy blackcurrant that I love and some fig and a lot of fresh orange blossom. So it's definitely a more fresh version while keeping my favorite fruit, blackcurrant, and adding that powderiness. I just feel like this is my favorite by far of all the flankers. It's an easy pick. It didn't really take me much debate on this one of which was my favorite. So the Absolute. Going back to one of the men's, my other favorite for men's is it's a easy recommendation when men aren't into fragrance and I'm like, try this one. It's a no-brainer. Try it. You'll like it. Women will love it on you. And it's Pradalone. It is a powdery iris fragrance. The iris in here, there's iris and violet, but there's something a little more masculine about it. Almost like there's a little bit more woodiness to it. It's not so cosmetic powder-like. And there's black pepper and cardamom in here that also just give it that really nice masculine vibe. But the violet and iris make it so cozy and like you want to just snuggle up in their sweater like this, like a thin gauge, close-knit, body skimming sweater, and you want to like snuggle up in their pecs like that. This is one of them. It's just so addictive and cozy and inviting. We love an inviting fragrance. Oh man, this one is a no-brainer. And you can find it for like $100. Like what's not to love? You can go to the Nordstrom sales. I picked this up at Nordstrom's. They do sales on it and I just waited till it was a little bit off. Somewhere between 100, 120. I think I might have got it for 100. So I find Nordstrom's cheaper than Ulta. Pradalone. This was a tough one. I wanted to pick a YSL Libre, but this is a tough call between Les Parfums and the new Flowers and Flames. They're very different and I like them. I feel like each flanker, they picked one of the notes in the original and kind of doubled down on it and emphasized it and made it the starlet, where the Les Parfums really doubles down on that like boozy kind of vanilla, and it's a deep, rich, syrupy vanilla. Like it's down and dirty with you. Like it's good. And this one, they went into the lavender, but they played the lavender up very differently because I think it got a lot of flack in the original as being too aromatic. Whereas they made it more sweet in kind of like a Montgrelon sort of fashion where it's this lavender vanilla versus this aromatic lavender. So I kind of like it. It's definitely more fresh and daytime feeling versus the Les Parfums is more nighttime boom shakalaka kind of. This is definitely lighter. You could wear it to work. There's something more fun, flirtatious, while still being professional kind of a fragrance. It's not like beboppy. There's something more serious, but the lavender there is a lot more inviting. It's vibrant orange blossoms in here and like a a zesty kind of citrus feel to it. But the lavender, there's a little bit of aromatic to it, but it's not quite as sweet as in Mangrelon. Definitely way sweeter than the original version where it's definitely more aromatic. So I don't know. I guess if I had to push come to shove, I would pick the Le Parfum. But being that it's like the new kid, I'm having fun with the new kid. It's a novelty. It's newer. It's fresher. It's very different from the other versions. So I'm kind of attracted to it just for it being unique a little bit more. I kind of like it. But I guess if I'm going iconic, I'm going to go Le Parfum. And again, from YSL, I went with a Black Opium. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the original Black Opium. I never got it. Like, I owned it, never wore it. I got the Leger here and it was better. I don't know. I never got down with that fragrance. I don't like the jasmine in there. There's something this is going to sound funny, but like perfumey about that jasmine. I just don't care for it. And then, I don't know, and then the coffee in there, there's better fragrances. I prefer a rose vanilla coffee than a jasmine coffee. I just wasn't feeling it. Now, the Le Parfum, like now we're talking. This and the cherry one, that I love. Those are the ones I have. I really like those. This is a like rich, syrupy, boozy, almost spicy like vanilla. And then there's a little bit of coffee in there. It's like this refreshing coffee that you're smelling, that fresh ground coffee, and you're also getting this boozy kind of rich vanilla in here. It opens more of the coffee, but dries down, man. That boozy kind of vanilla, like a little dash of cinnamon on your coffee, but the vanilla, like they really hone in on the vanilla here. I think there's 3 kinds of vanilla. There's Madagascar vanilla, bourbon vanilla, and vanilla absolute. Like it's all about the vanillas in here and it just goes ham. And if you don't know, I love vanilla. Like vanilla is vanilla. It is the best thing ever. And then there's the blackcurrant and pear for me. So yeah, if you like vanillas like me, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to share some more vanillas with you. There's always vanillas in my list because I love vanilla. I love vanilla. Yes, hop on the train. I just like this, okay? I don't hear a whole lot about it. I just like it, especially for fall. Like I like the I Want You collection. There's also the new, is it Parfum or Le Parfum? What's with all the Le Parfums? The original one is a little more lighter, fruitier. Okay, annoying fly, you're done here. Great for like spring, summer, daytime, easy reach daytime. The I Want You Forever gets a little bit richer, adds some cherry to it. It does a little better on date night for you. And of course, as the weather gets a little cooler, it seems to hold its own a little bit better. These tops are so weird to me though. It has this like ball top with a thing. There's like no cap. And then it just sprays out this ball. I kind of hate the design, I'm not gonna lie. But definitely a juicy kind of fragrance. It's that cherry. The cherry is in there and it's not like other cherry fragrances. It's kind of like the cherry is added in with this vanilla almond fragrance and the cherry just goes so well, like cherry almond, come on. With the rose, very feminine rose kind of fragrance with this fruity kind of thing going on. So easy to like. It feels kind of guilty pleasure, like easy reach, this fragrance. It's just an easy grab for me. It's definitely mass appealing. I know if I wear this somewhere, no matter who the audience is, if they're not into fragrances, they're gonna like it. It's like inoffensive and easy pleaser kind of fragrance, which sometimes is what you want. Not everyone's into like crazy niche fragrances, right? And not everybody appreciates it. Not everybody likes oud, but this is just so easy to me. And super affordable too. These are really affordable now. You don't have to get them from Nordstrom's. So the I Want You Forever. All right, and the last one here in my all-star designers is Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. I just love it. Even with the new Intense, this is the one I love. Who doesn't like iced lemon cake? Like when you go to Starbucks and they have that pound cake, that lemon pound cake with the icing on top. Something, again, that my mom makes a lot in the house too. Like, who doesn't like that? And you got to take the piece with the icing on it. Like, you got to do the top first. I don't know what it is. The icing just makes it so much better, right? Like, I want that top piece. That's what this smells like to me. It opens more like that lemon pound cake. And then as it dries down, you're getting more of the fluffy lemon vanilla cake. No more of that icing. Kind of like eating it. It sucks. You get a few bites with the icing and then you're stuck with just the pound cake pieces. Not that they're so shabby though, you know, they're kind of good too. It's so easy to like and it's delicious. You smell like a yummy snack when you wear this, like a lemon cupcake. Like who doesn't want to smell like a lemon cupcake, right? Like, hello everyone. I think guys like when we smell like a cupcake. I don't know. Is any guys watching? Let me know. Do you like when a girl smells like a cupcake? It's kind of cute, right? Come on, admit it. You think it's cute. I know you do. Those are my favorite designers. Those are my all-stars. They are not going anywhere, even in my big collection. Those are my favorites. High street designers, not Privé collection. What are some of yours? What are some of yours like all-star favorites that you're just going down in history with it? It's going down with you. I want to know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.